It's Sunday, May 28th, 2023. This is the Pound for Pound MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 164, the Kai Kara France versus Albazi preview show. And after that, we talked about some MMA news, but we'll probably jump into the MMA news first. No recap show, obviously, as it is Memorial Day weekend. So with all that said, Tabor, where do we begin?
With the social media accounts, Mason. P4P MMA pod on every single social media platform, guys. Go follow us if you have not already. We're posting funny memes, trying to make you guys laugh, so hit us up over there. We also have a new Patreon, guys. Tremendous digital network on Patreon. It umbrellas all of our podcasts here at Tremendous Digital Network, not only the P4P second services, but you get other content there as well. So go follow that. I think it's one base price. I think it's like $3.99 a month. So if you want to support, you could do that. Or you could also go to our member section here on YouTube, guys. We have multiple tiers there. You get exclusive emojis down in the chat. You get exclusive badges by your name. We have a few black belts. So guys, get those belts, rank up with us, and level up with the pod. Guys, and if you can do all of that, it's a hard economy out there. We get it. If you guys don't want to spend money, that's fine. You don't have to donate, but we do appreciate everything we get. Guys, just share the podcast. Share this live stream on your social media accounts. Share the audio only platforms on your social media accounts. Guys, we are on every audio only platform as well. So go leave us 5-star reviews and everything like that. It all helps, guys. It really helps push the podcast. It really helps us move. Okay, that being said, it has been a few weeks since we've gone live. So before we get into anything else, a little update on everything. These last 2 weeks have been fucking crazy and wild for me. I'm not going to lie. I went to Arizona. I got in a horrific car crash. I rolled several times off the road, almost died, almost killed all my dogs, but we ended up walking away with just scratches. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that one. Yeah, just feel free to make fun of me and kick me while I'm down. It's okay. So that was scary. That was a really scary experience. And then literally a few days later, right before my parents were about to renew their vows in Havasu, it was supposed to be a vacation. My cousin passed away, had a brain aneurysm. So we last minute flew to Washington, D.C. for a few days. It was very sad, very unfortunate. It was a really horrible experience doing all that. But you know what? I'm back. I'm home. I'm safe. And I'm very happy, man. These last 2 weeks have been fucking exhausting.
That's cool. I don't want that.
Yeah, me neither, dude. I'm going to be honest. Me neither. You think I fucking want this, man? No, I'm stressed. I'm a little nervous. I'm stressed. I really am. You guys know why. I'm not going to go into it on the pod. But I might be fucked, boys. I might be fucked. So, guys, give me those donations. I need them dollars, baby. I need this, okay? So I appreciate that. Guys, also, no, I don't think we're going to do Fight Companion this weekend. I'm not going to lie. I don't think we really give a shit about this card all too much. Kai Kara France versus Albazi. There are some good fights on it. We are going to talk about that in our preview show, but don't expect us to go live. I don't know what we're going to do. We might, if we're bored, we might just go live on Saturday night, or we might go to a casino or whatever. So stay tuned to our Patreon. You might get vlogs there. Also, guys, we're going to talk a lot about MMA news. Since it's been 2 weeks, essentially, since we've gone live, there's a lot to talk about here. That is, old news, but it's big news. So we got to talk about it. So we're going to start here at the top, as we always do. So the biggest news of these last 2 weeks has been a lot about the heavyweight division. A lot of news. We've talked a lot about Francis, about how possibly he might be coming back to the UFC. He might be signing with a lesser MMA organization. There was a lot of speculation on what exactly is going to happen, because we know the boxing match isn't happening. That was off the table. But it did come out that Francis Ngannou has signed with the PFL. He signed a massive deal, apparently. It is not as big as his UFC deal, but he got the things that he wanted. Remember how we were shitting on Francis about how, in part of his deal, he wanted to make sure that his opponents have a bare minimum cash out thing, and it was a very big bare minimum show bonus for those. And so not only has he gotten a big deal for himself, but anyone who fights him in the PFL, they're going to be making a lot of cheddar as well.
It's crazy. Yeah, he said $2 million. $2 million for any one of his opponents in the PFL. But he, eventually, after all this time, got the deal done with PFL. But do you think this is too late? Do you think the hype train of Francis Ngannou has passed? Has that moment for him passed? Regardless, he got the deal done. He signed with the PFL. He's going to go and make money. I don't think it's big money. I think he could have made the exact amount of money in the UFC. So I don't really know what benefits here except dodging John Jones.
That's what a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people are speculating, is he doing this to dodge John Jones? John Jones is out there talking shit, saying, you can talk a lot of shit from across the street. And then Francis claps back, oh, cool, across the street. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. That's never happening. That's never happening. Dana is never pissed. Allow that. We saw the comments Dana was making. He was very angry that Francis ended up doing this. I don't blame him. I mean, we saw how many dinners did UFC and Francis have? Like 50 or 70 or something like that. And Dana actually showed up personally to one and gave him a personal offer, which never happens. Would have made him the second highest paid fighter in the UFC history, only under Conor McGregor. And he still turned it down.
Still turned it down. Yeah. Which begs to wonder, like, is it Ngannou just not liking the UFC, Dana White, the organization, even though they did everything humanly possible to sign a deal with him? Or two, is it the fact that he didn't want to fight John Jones? I mean, it's hard for me to really like sit here and truly believe that Francis Ngannou was scared of John Jones.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I mean, I don't believe it. Like, I just, he's a professional fighter. Like, when you're that big and you're that terrifying, I don't think you're scared of anyone. So it had to have just been the business relationship between Dana White and him where it just, nothing could get done. You know?
Greg Long, shout out to you. John was sitting out for 3 years while Francis was fighting and winning. John needs to shut up. Yeah, I get it. So, I mean, you could say the same argument on the side of John Jones. Why were you waiting out for so long? Why didn't you just take the Francis fight from when we all first wanted it 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, man. This whole situation has been extremely strange. I don't really know who to believe. And, you know, like there's been a lot of bombastic things said on all sides of this. What I do know is this. Francis is going to make a lot of money in the PFL. He's going to get pay-per-view points. He's also going to be considered a part owner now because that was a really big negotiating tactic that he wanted. He wanted to be part ownership of whoever he signed with. And he also was arguing for, you know, better healthcare and better, bonuses and show money for his opponents, which was never negotiated before in the past. So he got all of that with the PFL.
Yeah.
This could be huge for the PFL. Massive, like biggest signing to date for the PFL. I wonder if this is really going to translate to pay-per-view buys. Was Francis Ngannou a massive draw in the UFC?
Well, I'll tell you this. If the combination of signing Francis Ngannou, signing Jake Paul, which we can talk about that in a side note, but just hear me out here. Signing, you know, these big names in any capacity. And then not only that, but if they are really in talks to buy Bellator, I think they will compete with the UFC. Now, the UFC will always have a leg up on them. And I think the UFC will be the biggest deal, but no, I'm okay. But a lot of, I know it doesn't look good. I know. And my face is shaved now. It's so weird. Like I got a baby face. That's why I've always had like facial hair because it's weird. But combining all of that together, like I don't know, man. I think the PFL can really compete, and I do think eventually, I do agree with you on the short term, but I think in the long term, I think it will translate to more pay-per-view buys and more people paying attention to the PFL.
I think so as well. Yeah. I mean, Francis is a big name, dude. And he's still got that one punch KO power. He's going to be flatlining dudes. He's going to be like, you know, like everyone compared him to Mike Tyson, you know?
Yeah. I don't, back to your earlier question, I do not think it's too late for Francis. Maybe prior to the deal signing, we could have had that conversation in a more serious depth. But with the kind of back and forth cattiness between UFC, Dana, Francis, John Jones, that's just creating hype for it. I mean, what's 100%. That old term? I mean, no news is bad news or whatever. Yeah. So it's just creating that kind of hype, the same kind of thing that, you know, when Jake Paul was making these matches and fighting these guys and people were just clowning it, shitting on it, and then look what happened.
Yep.
So if it keeps getting talked about, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, whether it's negative or positive feedback. So,
well, I think the PFL is willing to make risks. You know, they're going to be willing to make huge risks now that they signed Francis and, you know, they have signed Jake Paul. Are they going to start doing their own boxing matches?
I think possibly, especially if they do merge with Bellator. And then another thing is, this is kind of I wouldn't say unprecedented, but the deal he made is quite unprecedented, what Francis has done
for an MMA fighter,
for an MMA. So I think this opens the door for fighters to, if they want to just leave the UFC and go to the PFL or something like that, then they know that they could get a better deal. Of course, you're going to have the conversations of, oh, well, the competition isn't as good there or this or that. But at the end of the day, these guys are They like to fight, and if they can fight and make more money, then at some point, if
When
they're
they
like
have
a
more-
journeyman, why wouldn't they?
They have more opportunities for that too. So like if you grow a hype train, like let's say you're Ian Gary, you're Conor McGregor, and you're on this up and up where everyone's like hyped about you at the right time. There are more opportunities in the PFL because if you sign while you're big, like an Ngannou, then what PFL does, when you say unprecedented, you mean the contract that allows him to also box if he wants to. The UFC will not do that for you. The only person they ever did that for was Conor McGregor. Even though Dana made a buttload of money, he wasn't going to do that for Ngannou. That was something that they talked about. So if you can do that in the PFL, I really do believe that a lot of guys are going to want to make that big cheddar, big paycheck.
Let's see what they make when they do a boxing fight.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you could have Jake Paul as a main event versus who gives a fuck.
Right.
And you could have fucking Francis Ngannou as a co-main against who gives a fuck.
Yep.
I mean, look at
I know. Not saying that I necessarily want to see them box,
But I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
Right?
Yeah,
I might pay for
let's look at Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul. Nate Diaz is another guy
Oh my
the
God.
PFL could sign. I mean,
Have
if they have these
seen-
contracts,
Have you seen his footage, his boxing footage? Bro,
Nate?
he's going to
Little
get lit up.
He's gonna get fucked
He's
up,
gonna
dude.
get-
He's gonna
Nate's
get
never
like-
lost a fight.
Yeah,
He's
I
never
know.
lost a
Sure,
round.
Yeah,
And Diaz Army all the way.
Is going to get flatlined. Dude, like, hey, I love Nate Diaz, and I hate saying this publicly,
Then don't say it.
but I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's what we do on the podcast. Like, I got to pick a winner and a loser. And Nate Diaz, MMA, beats the living shit out of Jake. Let me just say that, everyone. Okay. MMA fight. Dude, I'm not joking. Nate Diaz pummels Jake Paul. It's not even but again, we're talking about a different sport here. This is boxing. Okay. I've seen how Jake Paul has progressed in his boxing career. You know, obviously, whatever, lost to Tommy Fury, but still didn't look bad. Like, and am I saying he's Floyd Money Mayweather? No, I'm not. But again, he's a good boxer and he's young. The footage I saw Nate and the fundamentals, it's
All it takes is one Stockton slap.
He's got a good 1-2. He's got a good 1-2.
yeah, of course, yeah. But you need more than a 1-2.
That's all he
That's all
has.
you need.
That's all
Boxing
he's
match.
had in his whole MMA career, though,
That's
and
all you need
he
is the
was so
fundamentals.
successful off that 1-2.
You just
90%.
need 1-2. What more do you need? Just 1-2. That's
But
it.
I do
boys.
agree. I think he's gonna get smoked.
And another thing, who says he's not going to use his elbows like KSI
fuck.
to knock out Jake? You never know.
I hope he does. That'd be awesome. I hope he does. That'd be awesome. And Greg, I see your chats there, but we're gonna get into that, dude. That's also here. We can just get into it right now. Actually, we'll end on Francis. I don't know what's gonna happen here. He has no fights announced. Is he gonna be competing in this season? I hope so. It's already started, correct? The season. I'm sure there's already heavyweight
for the
fights.
heavyweights. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it started or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it does soon, and I hope we see Francis soon. I want to see him back into a cage. So I will watch, especially because the PFL is starting starting to do more pay-per-views. I think they've had a couple pay-per-views so far. I will see what happens. We're gonna wait and see. But all this talk about trying to get co-promotions with Dana and John Jones fighting Tyson Fury, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
That'll never happen.
It's never gonna fucking
It'll never happen. Not in a million years.
All right. That's over with. Let's move on to some other MMA news. So this is something Greg Long is saying right now. Fury thinks he could beat Francis in a street fight. My guy. I mean, no. No, it's just that Francis would take him down like he did
Yeah.
Gone and just smash the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking serious right
But-
now? I'm like, I know he's just talking shit.
Yeah, he is.
But why are you consistently calling out these MMA guys? You're not going to fight them.
No.
You had an opportunity to fight Francis, and you talked all that shit for years. Francis gets released, nothing, no negotiation, no nothing. These guys are full of shit.
Yeah, they are 100% full of shit. And like, I get it on Fury's side. I 100% get it. I would never fight Francis Ngannou outside of a boxing
Oh,
match.
he said
because
he
obviously would
I'm sorry,
destroy him.
real quick. He was talking about John. Greg Long said, I mean John. Yes, he was talking about John Jones. He said if John and people were talking about if John Jones and Francis or Fury got locked into a room, who's walking out? It's John Jones, dude.
Yeah,
He's
that's not even a
murdering.
question.
He's murdering Tyson Fury.
He's taking him down and smashing him.
I'd also like to go back real quick to another thing I just thought of. You were talking about could we see boxing in the PFL as well with this Francis contract. Another person that you would want to see or could benefit from this is like Clarissa Shields, because she's a professional boxer and she's signed to the PFL for the next, I think, like what, year and a half? Has it been already?
Yeah.
She had a 3-year deal with him. So you could see you could see her box women in there as well while she fights. So that's just another thing I wanted to add real quick.
Yeah, not only that, but the acquisition of signing with Prime Video has been so much more accessible to us. And now we really get to see what like a true mixed martial arts like event is. I think you have 3 different lanes that you can go down. One definitely went down the route of like, tag team jiu-jitsu or individual competitions. You have Muay Thai, you have kickboxing. There's all these different things for one. And that's why I love that avenue for one. UFC is just straight MMA, nothing else. But PFL can kind of combine the few sports that are still missing, like a boxing, do MMA, do tournament style, whatever they want to do, get the acquisition of Bellator, buy it. And dude, I think PFL could crush it in that niche like market. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely more. I enjoy the whole fight card when I'm watching one more than UFC usually, but I'm more excited and I'm a bigger fan of UFC.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yep. No, it makes sense to me.
We got to watch jiu-jitsu, we got to watch Muay Thai, we got to watch MMA. Like
it's fun. It's fun watching the kickboxing matches with
great.
MMA gloves.
It's
a lot of fun. It's super entertaining.
Super entertaining.
Which is great for when you have these like say Kron Gracies who only want to do jiu-jitsu. Well, then just do that. And put it on the same card.
Sign to a one card. Because that's still super entertaining to me. And I loved watching that matchup between those I forget their names, but it was on that one card with Demetrius Johnson and Marias.
Mikey Musumeci and
not Mikey. Mikey's real small. He's like a lightweight, but I'm talking about the big boys. Like there was a lot of grappling going on. They were like 195 pounds. But anyway,
before
that. But that match was a lot of fun to watch. There was no finish in it, but it was just straight 10 minutes go. And I just was enthralled by it the whole time because it's like one little mistake, and these guys are like, 3rd, 4th degree black belts, and it's over. And
plus,
I like that.
I like one's rules more when it comes to MMA. I mean, are you overall
the
winning
weight cutting
the fight?
Rules are so much better.
Are the weight cutting rules, and then are you overall winning the fight? Not just because you sit on someone that doesn't mean you win the round, which I enjoy. But that's just me.
Yep.
Agreed.
I do agree with Greg Long here. He says UFC has the marketing and storyline with the fighters. And that is something that the UFC does very well, is the actual storyline of the fighters. In most cases, I think they've dropped the ball a few times with like Chris Cyborg, obviously not giving her shine. But there have been instances, but overall they do.
Nunez as well. Like, I mean, we have a fucking pay-per-view coming up. How many commercials have we seen?
No
ads, zero. They don't give a fuck.
It's only
they know
really,
that
because they know it's not going to sell.
It's only really online marketing a little bit. If you follow the page, if you don't see it as much, I don't know why they don't take advantage of like YouTube, or platforms like
that's
that.
Why
they only post it on their own account. But I know they have the money to buy ads for YouTube. When you see an ad for YouTube, when you're watching your videos, even if it's annoying, you just keep watching it. You just keep watching it. It gets in your mind.
And I hope they're making good money on Rumble. With the slap fighting thing, because like if they make money on Rumble with their slap fighting thing, why not put UFC fights on YouTube?
Yeah,
why not?
Which
put the prelims on YouTube. You're already on free TV.
Don't Rampage and someone else have their own thing going on Rumble as well? Their own fight organ. Yeah. So,
but I'm telling you right now, that 289 is not great.
It's garbage. It's a trash card.
It's a very bad pay-per-view. I mean, there are some exciting fights on there. Obviously, you got the Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush. I mean, come on, that co-main is going to be tremendous. I'm Adam Fugit. Okay, Dan Ige versus Nate Landwehr, Nate the Train versus Dan. That's a great
there's
fight.
Good fights.
It's a great fight.
I would just say maybe that there's like,
but there's
2
not
fights on here. If you removed the Mike Mallet and Adam Fugit and Mark Barriol and Eric Anders to like maybe prelims, and you slid someone else in there.
Khalil Roundtree versus Chris Dawkins, I think, should have been on the main card.
Which, arguably we could say that.
Why is Chris Curtis? I don't get that.
I don't get it at all.
Why is he not on the main event?
I don't get it. Or not
the main event, but the main card. Why?
I don't get it. I feel like if you just moved a couple of these up, your opinion of the whole card would change. But you're still getting good fights, whether it's a prelim or not.
Right.
I think we need to take ourselves out of if it's not on the main card, the whole card is shit.
I get it.
Because we've seen prelims that are amazing.
From a business standpoint,
I get where you're coming from.
Well, Devil's Avocado, we're paying for the main card.
Exactly.
I'm not paying for the prelims.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay. Like, if there's only 2 fights on the main card that I want to enjoy, that's not worth my $80.
Yeah.
True.
That's where I'm coming from.
But I'm thinking maybe, I don't know how they're marketing themselves. So maybe if they have a couple really great fighters who they know are going to put on a entertaining fight. Does that entice the buyer to then buy the pay-per-view? Is that their thought process? I'm guessing.
Possibly. And that's why, they always put a main card fight as the main event of the prelims. To get those people that show up right before the main card starts. Oh fuck!
And they've definitely fucked that up a couple times where they've had
trash
fighters
fights
who should have been on the main card or should have been at least the first fight of the main card. But we do get spoiled sometimes where we get like 10 fights that are like main card fights and half of them are prelims. So I do think that it's to be expected. You're going to get a couple, not your favorite cards going into international fight.
You could have put
because they're blowing their whole load like in July, August, September, like they're so.
Well, bro, those 2 July cards are nutty.
We're gonna get into
that. 290 and 291 is nutty.
Plus we're gonna get into fall with all these other cards. So like it's expected that we're gonna get a couple cards that we're not that interested in, but for the most part, it's been a pretty good year.
Yeah, I love how they're just like, here you go, Canada, worst pay-per-view of the year. You can have it. It makes sense.
Enjoy.
Greg Long says if Amanda was cocky, they would sell her more. Yeah. I mean, sure. But I mean, she is a GOAT. And then he also says Valentina doesn't. Now I agree with this one quite a bit. He says Valentina doesn't get the push she deserves either. Her losing her title should be a bigger deal. 100%.
I don't understand. I feel like it's only because Amanda is who she is that they don't push Valentina more.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense to me because why would you not want to have the 2 greatest women fighters
of all time
pushing and advertising that? Because we all, I would assume, we all love to watch Valentina fight.
Oh yeah,
we all love to watch Amanda fight, even if it is a third rematch with and like we all love to see them. We all like to watch Zhang Weili fight. We all like to watch Rose fight if it's not against Carlos Esparza. We all like to watch all these fighters. I don't get why he doesn't push more, which I feel like they could.
All right. Yeah, it is what it is with that situation. I forgot what we were even talking about. We started on the Tyson Fury stuff, right?
Yeah, but then
kind of
Tyson Fury. He's not going to fight these guys. Is the main thing.
But let's move on to some other MMA news. Mason, you mentioned it. UFC 291 got announced over the break while we were gone, and
it might be better than actual International Fight Week.
It is.
I mean,
100% it is.
Dang,
it's. I thought that at first, and then I went back and looked at it. It's close, but I feel like you're going to be more excited for 291 because of the Justin versus Dustin
and the Jan versus Alex. Are you fucking kidding me?
Which is crazy to me because shouldn't he be out for 6 months?
Yeah, at least he's like, nah, I only need.
I don't.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm good.
I thought there was a 6 month rule.
You would think.
Just not
Florida. It's Florida, baby.
Yeah, they don't care.
They didn't give no suspension. 2 weeks, you're good.
Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green. That's the
phenomenal
matchup for Tony.
Phenomenal
and for Bobby. That's going to be fun.
This is just going to be a fun fight, regardless.
Yeah.
Do I want to see Tony get knocked out again? No. Do I want to see Bobby Green win? Yes.
But dude, I don't see. So this is why this matchup is so good in Tony's career right now. This is the perfect guy because Bobby is not a KO artist, right? So he doesn't go out there and you're not typically thinking, oh, Bobby KO, but he'll piece you apart, right?
We're thinking,
so can he stay on the feet? Can he defend Tony's takedowns? Or is Tony going to implement, that 10th planet jiu-jitsu, try to get him down?
If Tony was smart about the match, in my humble opinion, I feel like he would just do the jiu-jitsu, wrestle him to the ground, submit.
Mm-hmm.
But we also know Tony's not, he just likes to fight and he just wants to do it his way, regardless of it's a smarter path to success or not, which is why we liked him. So, but am I happy to see maybe a first round and a half of just absolute fuckery? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this card and I wish it was July.
Wonderboy Thompson versus Michel Pereira.
Perfect.
That's fun.
I fucking love that.
That's so much fun. That striking matchup is just going to be great. Michelle's going to, press the pace, and we're going to see how well Stephen and Wonderboy Thompson can counter. I think he'll counter just fine. I got Wonderboy in that.
Yeah, I got Wonderboy in that one. Derek
do
Lewis
not want to be a. Yeah, I don't understand that Derek Lewis matchup, to be honest. But
versus Rodrigo de Lima, Derek needs a win,
bro.
That's a good fight.
De Lima's a tough son of a bitch.
Fuck yeah,
he's not easy to put
away. That's a great fight.
But that's a very, very good fight. But we skipped over Paulo Pasta, baby.
Yeah, we skipped
over Pasta versus
Pasta.
a Russian savage.
Ikram Aliskerov.
It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, 14-1 Savage against 14-2 Paulo Pasta, baby. Middleweight. Let's hope he can make that.
I'm telling you right
now,
over
Michael Chiesa, Kevin Holland.
That's another one.
One's down.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to talk about next. Chiesa versus Holland. I mean, this card is stacked, dude.
It's fucking good.
I messaged in the group chat. I said, I'm bricked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy good.
My tip stick, I'm like, it's going to be a great card.
It will be.
Yeah, I can't wait. And then just to top it all off, bringing back the BMF belt. Is there another fight to bring it back for other than this?
Yeah. Any of
Yeah,
Jorge Masvidal's 4 losses. Yes. I think there would have been ample room to bring it back. But all things considering, it's a great fight. It's a great fight to have the BMF belt. I thought we weren't going to do this again, but I guess the UFC is doing it. It's just really okay. I love the concept and idea, and I'm not going to be a hater on it because I do like it. I do like it.
Let's just preface this. Let's just all give a round of applause for the UFC for bringing the belt back after 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm for it. Fuck it.
So I don't want to be a hater here, and I do want to break it down. So I'm excited for the fight. I think it's cool. My only issue with it is I feel like the BMF belt has been tarnished just a smidge because the BMF guy didn't defend it for like 4 years and then never put it on the line, and then he just retired. Like here's the thing: if you're gonna have a belt in the organization, they need, win or lose, they need to put it up at least once a year. It needs to be a special event where once a year the BMF belt is fought for. Regardless. So let's say Dustin and Justin, right? I'm just going to use a hypothetical here. Let's say Justin goes out there and wins the BMF belt. Okay. But then in his next fight, again, let's say he's fighting Charles Oliveira, right? I'm just throwing out random names. And then he loses. Okay. I don't care if he loses, but within a year, he needs to put that BMF belt up again. Otherwise, it's pointless to have.
I feel like it should just be if you win, you keep it. If you lose it. It's that simple.
It should be a one-off thing every time. There is no defending this belt. There is no nothing.
Why not?
Because it's stupid.
Then why even have it? Why even have it? That's because where marketing wise,
fun.
So then defend it.
No. Just do one-off fights. Do the 2 baddest motherfuckers who stand and bang and only give a fuck about that. No jiu-jitsu, no shit. I want stand and bang.
Okay,
2 baddest ass motherfuckers in any division.
So then go watch kickboxing.
Okay, so hold on.
But that's how you do the BMF belt. Okay. You do it one-off. It's the 2 baddest motherfuckers of the year fighting each other for this BMF belt one-off, and then next year 2 different.
So you want it to be like a once-a-year thing?
Yes. Okay, no.
That'd be cool.
I actually like Tabor's idea here quite a bit. I'm seeing what he's talking about. Okay, so this year it's the BMF belt in the lightweight division, and then next year it'll be the 2 baddest motherfuckers in the middleweight division.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And then do a different division every year. And it is a one-off in that capacity. I would be okay with that.
So what if you guys, or what if you did just, well, no, I guess it wouldn't work like that. But if you had BMF belts for every division, then it could just be a BMF fight once a year for each division.
See, that'd be too many, I think.
No. Yeah. So it's just one fight, period, BMF.
I'd rather
and
have
you just
that.
pick. It's like the Ultimate Fighter, right? You have one. I mean, you actually have 2 seasons a year typically, but you have 1 season a year, and then you pick 1 or 2 weight classes depending if there's male or female. That's how it should be with the BMF. It's 1 fight, 1 year, 1 weight division.
Yeah, and like next year,
1 fight, 1 weight division.
And here's how you make it big. This is how you make the biggest BMF pay-per-view ever. You do Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler BMF belt next year. Because that fight ain't happening this year.
No, it is not.
He just got back into the testing pool. That was announced. That's news. So next year. And that could be the
problem.
is,
though, that's another lightweight fight.
They're the best.
Actually,
it's the best
mind.
division in the world.
That might be a welterweight fight, actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know if Conor's going to drop down to 155.
I do like Greg Long. He said the BMF belt should be for the aging BMF fighters to send them off. And I like his next comment, which says, like Green versus 20 should have been the BMF fight. I would actually agree. I wouldn't be mad at that. Bobby Green should fight for the BMF belt. That's perfect for him.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I mean, Dustin and Justin makes a little more sense.
No, you're right. I'm saying if in the future, I wouldn't be
upset about it. Yeah, send off the old timers. Yeah, which Bobby's not an old timer yet, but down the road
he's getting there, man. He's pretty
like,
old.
What,
he's like 36, 37.
Black don't crack unless you do crack.
No comment.
All
right.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for 291. I can't wait. I think it's the most hyped up card of the year so far. I was extremely hyped for 290, but 291 is kind of overshadowed.
I think we should
just
go back for 290 though, because I do feel like we're skipping over Volk. And in that fact, not just skipping over Volk, but Yair Rodriguez. Because people kind of forget how crazy Yair is, how fucking crazy good he is. And just rewatching or watching highlights of him earlier this week, y'all must have forgot.
No.
Trust
Here's-
me.
here
As
how-
hard as my dick gets for that fight, my dick is harder for this one. Does that make sense?
Which one?
As hard as my dick gets for Volk versus Yair, Justin versus Dustin is
okay.
better. in my
Okay.
opinion. my dick gets harder for that.
I'm on the opposite spectrum of that. I'm not saying Dustin versus Justin is bad at all. I am excited, but seeing, in my opinion, Volk P for P and Yair, this crazy bad motherfucker who's overlooked, I think, just gets me more into it.
I'll tell you what, this Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Obviously, I think it's a great matchup. I think I don't know why I've got this weird gut feeling. We might want to clip this moment because I really feel it. If Yair wins, he wins with the flying knee with Alexander trying to go in, and he just gets caught perfectly.
Correct. This because look,
Like
people. This is why I'm saying people must have
dangerous.
forgot. Go look at all his finishes. It's like his crazy up elbow.
That was such a nasty.
Yeah,
his-
against Korean Zombie.
He's
He's
after
yeah,
getting
Prince
pieced
Korean
up for 5
Zombie.
rounds.
He's a unique fighter in that he's come from, like, I think is karate or taekwondo.
Yeah, he's dangerous all
So
25 minutes.
his flying kicks, his flying knees, like, it's going to be a crazy fight. And I feel like it's, even though it's the main event, I feel like it's overlooked because people respect Volk, maybe not enough, but people don't respect Yair enough.
Yeah.
It's
I'd agree
like,
with that.
yeah, that's Max Holloway. Yeah, he had a great fight. Yair just, he was coming back from a little bit of ring rust maybe, but
But he learned a lot from that fight.
the way he pieced up, who did he piece?
Emmett.
Yeah,
Emmett. I mean, and Ortega, even though first round injury or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Almost have forgot. I'm hyped on Yair. I just feel like people should stop, disrespecting it a little bit. Not to mention, I just feel like we should touch on 290 with Whitaker versus Duplessis.
Yeah. Whitaker,
What do you
Duplessis-
guys feel like is Duplessis just gonna piece him up?
No.
No.
I think Robert Whitaker wins this fight
100%.
very
Easily, or is it going to be a war?
Easily. I think
Easily.
he, like Marvin Vittori.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
like
it's
3-0s him.
and no disrespect to Duplessis.
He's
I
just
think
slower,
a
he's
great
not as
fighter,
good.
But no, he's just Robert Whitaker is a different guy.
Robert Whitaker might be the best middleweight in the entire world. He
Not
just
to-
has his
yeah.
number, you
Yep.
know?
That's
I would
really
agree.
all it comes
I'm
down to.
pulling for Robert, but I do feel like we can't disregard Duplessis' run so far.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I do feel like
But I don't think he's got
Whitaker's gonna
the
take
cardio to outpace Whitaker. I just don't.
I don't think he's going to
Yeah.
stop the takedowns either.
No.
No.
Hell no. Not against Whitaker. No. Moreno versus Pantoja is going to be fun
Fantastic.
too, man.
It's going to be that's going to be probably fight of the night. If
and
not,
Pantoja's got to win over Brandon Moreno too. I mean, a few years ago, but it should be interesting to see how Brandon deals with that moving forward. That'll be a fun one.
Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker. I'm a little scared for Dan here.
Yeah, I'm going with Turner on that fight. I love Dan Hooker, and I hate picking against him. But yeah, I'm going with Jalen Turner on that one.
I think I might take Trayshawn Go over Bo Nickel in this
Really?
one. Only because
The way the transitions.
Nickel's last performance with his transitions, I was
it's
like,
horrible.
no
He wasn't there.
disrespect at all.
Yeah.
But I'm like, take a jujitsu class. Like,
Yeah,
what was?
it wasn't there. There was things that a white belt could have done.
Maybe it was just the performance anxiety or something like that. But if you go back and rewatch that fight, you're like, if he's not careful,
Yeah.
If someone was more experienced, they would have.
I think purple
finished
belts are
him.
choking out Bo Nickel. I think blue belts are choking out Bo
Bro,
Nickel.
I would love. I don't see it on best
Trayshawn
fight
Gore's
odds,
power, So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
but I would love to see the odds for that because if Trayshawn Gore is coming in at like a plus 500, I'm hitting that line. Dude. No disrespect to Bo Nickel because I mean, obviously, fantastic wrestler, but if he gets caught in a transition or if he gets caught standing up, it would be real interesting. You could cash a big ticket on $20. You'd win 120. Hell yeah. Come on now.
And then another fight that's about to be absolutely bonkers is Sean Brady versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God,
that's a great
barn
fight. I
burner.
love
But
that.
that
one.
doesn't just get you bricked up. I mean, that's why I'm saying this card's a little slept on. Little slept on. This is, and that's a
get it.
prelim.
Well, and
I
then,
get
yeah,
it.
you got Robbie Lawler, Nico Price. That's going to be
Robbie
a great
Lawler's
fight as
retirement
well.
fight.
Yep. Jimmy Crude, Alonzo Menafield, that rematch.
Like, this is a great card.
It's a good one.
and then Yasmin's on this card too. So versus Denise Gomez. So that
God,
should
we're
be
getting
fun.
spoiled in July, boys.
That's what I'm
Spoiled.
saying.
Open up the checkbooks for that one because we're gonna be paying some money. Yeah, I'm very excited for. all
Yeah,
this, man.
Mason's not going to be here, but
I will not be here for International Fight Week. I will be in the great city, my favorite city,
My
Las
favorite
Vegas.
city. There's no
It's
better
the greatest
city.
city.
It's
There is no
Yuja
better city than Las Vegas, baby. So yeah, I'll be there. It'll be fun. I'm actually going to the Circa Hotel So I rented recliners for the whole event from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So
I thought you were going to the fight.
So you're going to Fremont Street.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I've actually
But that's
liked
a brand.
Fremont
That's
Street.
actually like a brand new hotel. It's got the biggest sports book in the world. I was there to watch the fights like 2 years ago.
And they got really cheap drinks too.
Yeah.
Their
And
drinks are cheap.
you rent the recliners for $200 a pop per person, but they go, it's $200, but it's all food and beverage credit. So you show up and you get $200 of food and beverage. So my night's already paid for. You know what I'm saying? With food and drinks. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do that. No problem. So yeah, I rented 3 seats. It's going to be a good time.
All right. Guys, let's move on to our last little bit of MMA news. So there are some fights that were announced also. Aljamain Sterling versus Sugar O'Malley. There's also rumors of Khamzat Chimaev versus Kamaru Usman.
I don't really like that because I thought Khamzat was moving up because he's going to miss weight 100%.
Yeah, I know. I don't get that.
I don't think he's going to. I think, dude, I truly, genuinely think he missed weight on purpose.
I don't think he missed weight on purpose. I think he had a little screw up, and then the UFC told him to stop cutting weight so they can move around it worked out, but I don't see him fighting at 170. Like, why would you not just go up to 185?
Because it's easier matchups at 170 for him, I think.
Correct. Just go up to 185.
Well,
just go up to 185.
Greg
Actually,
Long
185 might be easier.
Usman is going to go up to middleweight. That would be very interesting. And Joseph Bellotti, I totally agree. Says, gentlemen, can we just get to the July schedule already? The June schedule is weak.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
100% on that. We already agree. But yeah, that's an interesting fight. Let's see if that actually happens. Nothing's been announced yet, but they're saying that the co-main to the Aljo versus Sugar card in August could be. I mean, actually, they're saying this would be the main event. Actually, they're saying it could be Jiri Prochazka versus the now champ Jamal Hill at light heavyweight
for what, August?
For August. They're saying that's a rumor. It has not been confirmed anything, but that could be on that card in August as well. So
the one in Boston, right? The one with Aljo and Sugar.
Yep.
That would be the co-main, and then the main would
the main would be fucking
Bro, that card would be sweet, man. I'd be so excited for that August card. Are you kidding me or what?
Yeah.
Oh my
insane. But there are rumors. Aljamain Sterling has been out there talking. First, he accepts the fight. They get the signed deal. They get it done. He's in 100%. Ooh, I might need surgery. I might be injured. I don't know if I'm going to make it now. Now, there's a lot of rumors that Aljamain Sterling's out there making up himself, saying he might not even be ready for August. Why sign the deal? Why sign the deal?
Because people were pressuring him. But also, if that fight gets moved, okay, because now we have Zhang Weili versus Lemos as the main event. I'm fine.
Well, it could do one of two things.
And you get the Jiri fight might happen on that too.
So with Dana White, it is irresponsible. Like if Aljamain Sterling was not ready, he should not sign the deal. So I'd actually take Dana's side here, and I'm a huge Aljamain Sterling fan. You guys know that. I mean, I love the guy. But yeah, you get it. That's fine. But I would actually agree on Dana if he ended up doing an interim belt here, because Aljamain Sterling signed the deal. And if you sign the deal knowing you're injured and then you do not proceed to take the fight, that is kind of on you. That's kind of on the fighter. So let's have the man himself step in place if Aljo doesn't take the fight. You saw it on Twitter. You saw him tweet at Dana White. Henry Cejudo Triple C is ready in the wings to take on that interim fight against Sugar Sean O'Malley, which I think would be absolutely tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that, or you could do Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Marab.
Marab's having hand surgery.
Oh, that's right. He did just have hand surgery. So yeah, again, let Triple C step in, because I mean, dude, he literally lost a split decision, 5 rounds. It was a very close fight. Could have went either way. So I think it is very justified for him to take on the number 1 contender.
People have been going back and forth about who won that. Like, oh, when I watched it, I thought that Aljamain won. Then I watched it again. I thought Cejudo won. Then I watched it again. I thought Aljamain. So it's back and forth.
It's very close.
Very
close fight.
I just wish it didn't affect I wouldn't say it affects their legacies because it is a split decision, but you almost wish it was a tie a little bit, because just one loss sets you back so much in this career, in this path. Now he's going to have to win 3-4 fights in a row just to get a title shot again, but it is what it is. And I don't think he's going to fight that long. I think he's got maybe 1 or 2 more left.
Yeah, which is why he's campaigning so hard for this interim fight, and it was also why he wanted to fight Marab on this same card. And Rob's out He's got surgery, so it is what it is there.
But
I don't know
would
what's
that
going to
not be
happen.
a fun fight though, Merab versus
I
Henry
would
Cejudo?
love that fight, dude.
That's
Are you shitting
fascinating
me?
to me.
He would probably be the only one that can match Marab's pace of takedowns
Yes.
and takedown defense.
Yes, 100%. And I don't know if Merab, I think, does take Henry down, but can he do it consistently like he has in the past? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I think he'll get him down once or twice, 100%, because Merab is just that guy.
But
And with how many
Henry's getting
attempts
back
that
up
he
though
does,
immediately.
well, right. But with how many attempts Merab goes for, I think inevitably, like Henry will adapt and he'll evolve and he will be able to stuff that. And then we're going to see a great striking matchup between those two. I would love to see that fight. Hopefully they can make that happen one day.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I don't know what's going to happen here with Aljo. I hate I hate that Aljo consistently seems like he's shooting himself in the fucking foot. I mean, how many times has Aljo been in the news for negative reasons since he's won the belt? And it's consistently been his fault. Look at the Matt Serra situation. Look at the wearing the belt situation after throwing the belt on the ground. Look at all the way he's handled a lot of the shit talk, the way he's talked. And we remember just last year we were talking, strip Aljo. He's taking too long, So I don't know what's going to happen.
I do think
here.
he's had a peculiar path, and it all stems, I think, from the first Jan fight. After that, it's kind of just been, and people have just been like not either on it or for it. I think that's where a lot of people's angers come from. But when you actually see him fight, he obviously performs well.
Yeah.
And you can't take that away from him.
Yeah, he's a great fighter. But I mean, if you're going to have Sugar come into the octagon and you're going to sign the deal for August, and then immediately after the UFC announces it, you're going to go, hey, I don't know if I'm going to make it, man.
Let me just defend Aljo just real quick. When you're that hyped up in the moment, you just want to, I would say, your biggest fight of your career. You're juiced up, you're a little amped up. You might do some things and say some things before you actually think about it. And like, oh, adrenaline wore down. I'm injured as shit. I shouldn't have signed that contract.
Okay, but your
adrenaline.
But
I mean, he had a week or two after that fight to sign. I mean,
your adrenaline's not up when you're sitting there doing paperwork and signing a contract. Like,
no, okay,
again, you have time to think about it. There's a difference between being in a cage and then doing the business side.
Hold on. I'm just saying the whole beef of him and O'Malley, if he backs down now, O'Malley says August and he says September, and he backs down now, and it doesn't happen till November. It's just that ego pride thing. Like, oh, people are gonna think I'm weak. Look, which I think you should do it anyway. You should do whatever's best for you, whatever's smartest. I'm just saying that's probably why.
If I was in Aljo's spot, I wouldn't give a fuck because I'm the greatest bantamweight champion of all time. And I mean, he's got the most defenses in bantamweight history. He just beat Triple C. Whether or not you like Aljo or not, I love the guy, but there's a lot of people who don't. But he is the best bantamweight of all time, bar none. I don't care if he won, close fights, I don't know, split decisions. No, it's a win's a win's a win. And he's defended the belt the most time. So he is the best to ever do it. So if he is injured and he needs more time, then, I mean, take it, but there might be an interim in his place.
Listen, right? I agree 100%.
I'm fine with that.
100% I agree with you, Mason. But the issue is that he's consistently, people aren't talking about him being the GOAT. People are only talking about him, being so shifty, so wishy-washy, so flip-floppy.
No,
with
we're
everything.
on the same page there, 100%.
And it's like, he's consistent. I just wish he would just stop. He's consistently shooting himself in the foot. If you're injured and you can't make the fight, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But don't do it. Don't say that just 1 week after you sign the fight and after you're trying to hype this up, man. Like, do it in a way. I don't know. I feel like he's doing what he needs to, but he's just going about it in the wrong way. Does that make sense?
Agreed. And see, this is where we all, I think, agree on this, because he could promote himself in a much cleaner way where it's not so murky. The waters aren't so murky as far as like, just doing, obviously injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. Like it could be much more clear for him. So I do agree.
This reminds me of not the skill level or anything like that, but I feel like people say the same thing about the way Floyd promotes himself, regardless of like the money thing.
You're right.
They want to see him lose. They hate him, which is why he makes so much money, and because he's the best and he's always going to win. But the way that he goes about it, people don't like. But when he's in the ring, it doesn't fucking matter. He's got the skill to back it up.
You're right.
So I feel like it's kind of the same path. So I feel like if you put it in that mindset, you'll be like, oh, okay. And it won't bother you as much, maybe.
That's fair.
No, you're right.
No.
100% I agree with that. It is what it is. Do we have that button?
No.
Fuck.
Because Max is not the champ anymore, so until he's champ again.
Okay, makes sense. That's it, guys, for MMA news. We spent 45 minutes on that. So let's move on to our preview show here. We do have an ESPN card, so it is free on ESPN, guys. You do not
It
need
is a
ESPN
card.
Plus for this. It is a card. Yes, it is.
Oh, it's on ESPN. Oh yeah, dude, I'm not coming.
Dude, why?
2 hours of commercials.
Listen,
I
listen,
know,
done.
bro.
listen.
No, we're going to the Cino this weekend.
If you're
Yeah.
doing an ESPN card, why this one? I love the main event. I do. I love both of these guys. I do. But why this one? This gets me soft. I'm soft when I talk about this card, man.
A lot of penis analogies this week, boys. You can tell Tabor must not be getting it at home no more.
Well, he's been stressed out. He can't get it up.
He has been very stressed.
Just makes me think we need to input that song from South Park when they talk about George R.R. Martin, the Wiener song.
Wiener. Yeah. No, I'm very soft, man. I'm not gonna lie. But let's move on to the main event of the evening. Start at the top as we always do. We have an even money fight. Both men coming into this at a -110 here on ESPN with their betting odds here. So we have Kaikar France in the red corner with a record of 24-10 wins against Amir Albazi. I totally butchered that name. I apologize.
Albazi?
Albazi. Amir Albazi. Is that what flag is that?
Iraq.
Oh, okay. So
Hey,
in
it's
Iraq.
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 Baghdad, Iraq. Yep. 100%.
So shout out to Iraq. Shout out to
They got the prince, baby, Amir.
Let's go. But so this is a fantastic matchup. Even money. Both these guys have got a lot of hype behind them. Kaikar France is a fantastic fighter in this flyweight division. It's about time we get some flyweight main events, baby.
Yeah, I'm for it.
I
like it way better than the heavyweight main events. Tell you that much. I don't understand why you go 5 rounds just to have someone get knocked out in the first round, or it be snooze fest for 5 rounds. I would take a flyweight main event every day over a heavyweight main event.
Yeah, look, every time, and every time we're at the Cino and it's a heavyweight main event, I'm like, we should just go.
I know we should just leave because we know what's gonna.
We know what's gonna happen.
It's either gonna be a snooze fest for 5 rounds, or it's gonna be a first round knockout.
Which I'm okay with the first round knockout.
So am
but
I.
when it gets past the first round, just leave.
Yeah, leave because it's not gonna be.
They
worth
don't.
it.
They
If
don't
it's not
have the
top 5.
They don't have the cardio. If they're not top 5, they don't have the cardio, and it's just gonna be and then you're like, okay.
If they're not top 10, bet on the decision all day. You don't even have to
bet it
bet
to
on
go
the
the
winner.
distance.
Yeah,
because it's
distance
not
all
going to
day.
end. They're both too tired.
To actually knock each other out. It's fascinating. But anyway, Amir Albazi versus Kaikar France. Very, very interesting. I mean, the Prince, Amir, is just, he's 29 years old, coming in at 5'5", but his resume is so impressive just on the wins that he has had. 5 KO, TKOs, 9 submissions, and 2 decisions. The only loss on his record coming in at 16-1 was via a decision. He is currently on a 5-fight win streak, with 4 of those being in the UFC. His last win was against Alessandro Costa, and before that, Francisco Figueiredo. So, I mean, this guy's coming off a KO and a submission choke, round 3, round 1. Very, very good fighter. Against Kaikar France. I mean, Kaikar France, I would say, is, the bigger name. I think more people know him. He's had some more notable wins. Unfortunately, got beaten by Brandon Moreno at UFC 277. But before that, was on a very impressive 3-fight win streak, with his last win against Askar Askarov, who at the time was undefeated. So that was a huge, huge win for him. Tabor, how do you see this one shaking out?
It's a very competitive fight. And to be honest, this one's kind of a coin flip. I agree with this line 100%. I mean, either man can win this fight. Kaikar France is a savage on the feet. He's got a fantastic ground game as well. Amir is, coming off a submission and a knockout. So both of these men are very well-rounded. It's really going to come down to cardio, in my opinion, because I do see this fight going all 5 rounds. Kaikar France historically is an extremely hard guy to put away, but this Amir guy has got a lot of power. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a war, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a 5-round war, very competitive fight. Either guy could get the victory. I'm going with Kaikar France just because I know him more. I've seen more of his resume. I know what I get with Kaikar France. Amir, this is his biggest test to date.
Yeah, unquestionably.
Is he going to live up to this? He's very hyped coming into this, or else he would not be an even money fighter. So if you beat Kaikar France, you're in line for a title, damn near.
Yeah.
So this is a huge fight for him. Can he live up to the pressure? I don't know. I'm going with Kaikar France in this fight just because I know his resume. I've seen him fight much more, and I know what I'm getting here every time he fights. He gives a 150,000%. So I'm going Kaikar France, 1,000 church coin.
Okay,
or 1,000 coin.
I'm actually going to go on the other side of this. I like Amir Albazi. the Prince here coming in at 16-1, even money fight. Me and Tabor are going to have some different picks probably coming in. Go ahead and I'll take Albazi here for 1,000 church coin as well.
All right. And I'm going to go France KO as my prop bet. And I'm going to put 1,000 coin on that also.
I'm going to go Kai Kara France decision. And then I'll put 200 on that.
All right, let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. We have Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy himself at a -165 to a +140, Daniel Pineda. This is another competitive matchup. These men are going to bang. Caceres, very unorthodox, very crazy kickboxing, karate style, very entertaining fighter. But he has a way of he's gotten a lot better in these last few years. But I mean, he was a win-1, lose-1, win-1, lose-1. I think he's on a little bit of a streak right now, isn't he?
Caceres?
Yeah.
Yeah. So out of his last 7 fights, he's won 6 of them.
So, yeah,
the only fight he lost was Sadiq Yusuf.
He's shown a lot of improvement this last few years. A lot of improvement. And, I used to not be very impressed with him, but he has gotten much, much better. His ground game's better. Historically, if he took Alex down, it was over.
What do you guys think it is with fighters like this when you just see all this improvement and because they seem kind of stagnant or a little bit stale at first, and a win one, lose one. What do you guys think it is that do they change their mentality to, hey, I should be training more what I'm not good at, or what is it? Because it seems like this keeps happening. And it's like, why? What is going on?
I think so with Caceres, because I saw a huge improvement. I would say probably during COVID, like during 2020. Like that's where I really saw him start to shine, and just the resume too that he was able to put together during that time, beating, Austin Springer, Kevin Kroom, Sung Woo Choi, and then, did lose against Sadiq Yusuf in that decision. It was a fairly close fight, but I mean, Sadiq definitely won it. But then to come back and head kick Julian Erosa. I mean, I don't know. I've seen his skill set evolve so much, especially on the ground. I think his jiu-jitsu got so much better.
Is it that fighters maybe rush into wanting to be in the UFC and they don't have the skill set yet?
Well, you got to remember he was what, season 10 Ultimate Fighter, somewhere right around there. And I think he was, fairly young at that time. I think he still needed some skills, polished. And I think they might have threw him to the wolves a little early.
Right, but that's just the UFC. But
right.
Is it a bit of a disservice to sign someone who's not necessarily ready?
No, I'm not saying that, because he was ready. I just think the level of competition they gave him right off the bat of Ultimate Fighter, I think was just a little above like where they probably should have put him. I think what they could have done with Alex Caceres, I think Alex could have been a star had they had taken the Sugar Sean O'Malley approach and kind of slow played it, or the Paddy Pimblett approach, and gave him recognizable fights on a good card against, not the elite of the elite, but decent opponents, I just think it was a little too early for him in his career.
That's just what the UFC does, though.
No, I know. But I mean, if you look at his career, like if you start out Ultimate Fighter right away, within 3 or 4 fights, he was fighting guys like Sergio Pettis, Uriah Faber, you know what I'm saying? Francisco Rivera. Like, I don't know. It's just like, those are heavy names. Yeah, Yair Rodriguez, within his first 10.
Yeah.
That's a tough lineup, dude. That's a really tough lineup for a young guy.
You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. 100%. Is their mentality.
All I'm trying to say, though, is they could have slow played him better. But I'm not trying to get off on a tangent here. I love this matchup. Daniel Pineda has been that guy. I mean, God, so many fights in the UFC as well. But I like Caceres here all day. I've always been a big fan of this guy. Go ahead and give me Caceres for 1,000.
All right, I'm going to go the opposite direction just to make it a little interesting. Going with the dog here. I'm going Daniel Pineda, 200 coins.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next matchup. We have Jim Miller versus Jared Flash Gordon. Jim Miller coming into this at +155 to -180. Jared Gordon. This is a good fight for Jared Gordon. He was unfortunate in his last one against Bobby Green, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so he lost that one. Pretty controversial. Some people did think he won. Obviously, people did think he won the Paddy Pimblett fight. But Jim Miller once again coming out and facing a legitimate contender in the lightweight division. Dude, this guy is a fucking legend.
Legend of the sport. This man is so good, even at 39 years old, with 52 fights on his resume.
Yep.
This guy's still going out there and beating dudes. Yeah, he did lose to Alexander Hernandez in his last fight, but boy, did he make it a fight.
Yeah.
Was that, I mean, yeah, he got tagged a lot in that one. It was a rough one for him. But bro, I mean, this guy's still going out there and getting the job done. Donald Cerrone, Nicholas Moda, Eric Gonzalez. I mean, I don't know. And still getting finishes. Those 3 wins right there were all finishes: submission, KO, and a TKO. So, I mean, the guy's going out there at his age, the legend, still finishing guys. But I love this matchup for both guys. For Jim Miller, I think it's perfect. And for Jared Gordon, this is kind of one of those like must-win vet scenarios where he's got to go out there and get a win and get a decisive win. I think he needs a finish here. It just, unfortunately for him, I do believe he beat Patty Plimblett. That was a terrible decision. But then Bobby Green, the Bobby Green fight, he didn't lose technically, remember?
It was a no contest. That's right.
Clash of heads.
I mean, Bobby Green was winning, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was winning. But this is a big opportunity here for Jared Gordon to get a win, be in the win column. But I'm telling you right now, dude, I will never count out Jim Miller. He's one of my favorite farts.
Old
farts.
Fart?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's only like 40.
Clip that. We got to clip that. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time in the UFC. This is a guy who will be in the Hall of Fame, and if he's not, it would be an absolute travesty. This is a heart bet here, which is why I'm going to stay away from it at the casino.
Bet with your brain.
I'm betting with my heart here.
Oh my God.
But there is also a good value here at a plus 160, and I think Jim is good enough to take Gordon down. I think he's good enough to hold him down. I think his striking is there. I mean, I'm not super impressed with Jared Gordon striking, where it's like, I don't know, getting tongue-tied and need some water. But to the point where I don't think Jim can compete with him. I think you put Alexander Hernandez in a striking matchup against Jared Gordon, I think it's going to look more or less the same as the same way with Jim Miller. So,
yep.
That's why I like Jim here at a plus 160. I love the value on Jim here. So give me 1,000 coin on Jim Miller at a plus 160.
All right. I'm going to go Jared Gordon here. I do think he's going to be a little more technical. I think he's just going to find a way to out-savvy the savvy vet. So I'm going Jared Gordon, 500 coins.
Savior of the universe.
All right. Let's move on to the next matchup. Tim Elliott at a minus 182 plus 155. Victor. Oh, here we go. Altamirano.
Just say Victor Alta.
Altamirano.
Nissan Altima.
Altamirano. He's like Italian. He's
Mexican. Yeah, he's definitely not Italian.
Altamirano. No, Tim Elliott versus Victor here. This is, I don't know this Victor guy, to be honest. His name is not popping off the page
he's
for
a
me.
Dana White's Contender Series guy. I think 2021 came to the UFC, got a win in Dana White's Contender Series, lost to Carlos Hernandez in his first fight in the UFC, but now has since been on a 2-fight win streak. Daniel De Silva and Salvador. I don't know the guy's first name. Vinicius Salvador.
Okay.
So he is on a 2-fight win streak, but he's relatively new in the UFC. Dana White's Contender Series guy, but we all know who Tim Elliott is. Been here for a while.
Oh yeah, everyone knows Tim Elliott, and if you don't get out from under the rock, you're under. Tim Elliott is always in bangers, man. So this kid's in for a war here because Tim Elliott is extremely hard to put away, and he fucking comes to fight every single time. He's one of the most entertaining fighters in the flyweight division. For a very spotty record, but there is a reason why he is still in the UFC. There's a reason why he is still a top guy here. He gets big victories when he needs them. So this is a tough fight for this Victor kid, but I mean, he's got a lot of hype behind him. He was undefeated coming in the UFC. He's 12-2 now. So we'll see what he can do with this extremely savvy vet here in Tim Elliott. I'm going to go with Victor. Why not? I'm going to go with the dog here. I'll put 200 coins on Victor.
Yeah, I agree too. I'm actually going with Victor as well in this fight. I think he's got the skills to get it done against Tim Elliott, but I don't know. Tim's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, but his most losses outside of decisions of 6 are submissions. And the thing with Victor here is he's only got 2 KO wins and 4 submission victories with 6 decisions. I like Victor Altamirano here. Give me El Magnifico 500 church coin at a plus 155.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Karine Silva at a minus 220 to a plus 180. Katlyn Souza.
This is the easiest, but this is the lock him in fight of the night for me. If you're a betting man, it is. And if I say that, be careful. But boy, oh boy, is it Karine Silva. I love this chick. She is such a good fighter, man. I'm really impressed with her. To have 100% finish rate when you have almost 20 fights, professional fights, is insane. 9 KOs, 6 submissions, 0 decisions. She fights at 125, dude. That's not like Amanda Nunes walking around at 145 or 135. She's got 100% finish rate. This chick comes out and she fights, man. And I love her style. She can submit you. She can knock you out. She is super, super versatile. On the other side of Ketlin Souza, 13 wins, 3 losses, is on a really impressive win streak as well. First fight in the UFC. She's on a 5-fight win streak in other organizations, but I think Karine goes out there and I think she smokes Ketlin Souza. The thing with Ketlin, though, she's got a lot of power in those hands. Out of her 13 wins, 8 KOs. That's a 62% finish rate just on the side of the KOs. So it's going to be a fun fight. I think they're going to go out there. I think they're going to throw, but I think Karine Silva gets the sub and gets it done.
All right. I agree 100%. I'm also taking Karine. It's just, I don't know this other woman. So it's really that easy for me. Silva's a savage. So I'm going to 500 coins on her.
I feel like another lock you might do is Karine by sub for your prop.
Yep. I like Karine by sub just because Ketlin's got so much power in her hands. I think Karine is so versatile.
She's got 5 subs in her last 5 fights.
Right. Yeah. So I think, and that's a good value. Or you could hopefully, because she's a minus 220, you could just go Karine by finish, and maybe that'll be even money. Just so you're careful, because she can knock Ketlin out too, because Karine's got some power. But yeah, this is the lock. This is the lock of the night for me. This one's easy. It's a no-brainer.
All right, let's move on to the next matchup. We have Jamie Malarkey at a plus 272, minus 340.
Oh my God.
Garam Kutaladze. Kutaladze is a savage. He's got so much power. He also has an amazing wrestling game. This is going to be an extremely difficult fight for Jamie Malarkey, but Jamie Malarkey is so long, lengthy, unorthodox striking style. If I'm going to put a little bit of money on a dog, I might go with Malarkey here, because he, without a doubt, can flatline Garam, but if Garam is going to be taking him down and trying to implement that wrestling. So if Jamie Malarkey can keep it on the feet, I wouldn't be shocked, man, if he gets something crazy, because he's a very, very technical, a very, very unorthodox striker, and I love his style. So I'm actually going out on a limb here. I do think Garam gets the victory, but if Jamie can keep it on the feet, I do think he can finish Garam. So I'm going to go with Jamie Malarkey here. I'm going to put 500 coins on him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I agree somewhat with that breakdown, but boy, oh boy, Garam is a savage.
This dude's good.
And let's keep in mind, he also beat Matsut's Gamrot back in 2020, and that's no easy task. He did come off a loss to Ismagulov. That was a split decision back in June of 2022. So he has not been in the octagon for about a year now. It will be essentially a year by the time he's back in there. I do like Jamie Malarkey. I like his style. He goes out there and he throws heavy. He's got a lot of KOs on his resume. Super impressive. I mean, a finishing rate altogether of like over 80%. But I just think Garam might be too much for him. Implement that wrestling a little too much, and I think he'll get the decision victory here. I don't think he finishes Jamie, but I will go Garam by decision here. Go ahead and give me 200. What is he? A minus 340. So let's just do 340. 340 on Garam.
Parlays. I'm going to go with a 4-fight parlay on this card. I'm going to go Malarkey, Silva, Victor, and France for my 4 fights here. I'm taking a couple dogs here. I'm really risking it here, but I mean, we're very neck and neck here with our coin totals. I'm at 5,346. You're at 5,007.
Wow.
So very neck and neck. Coming into this, the pay-per-view will be the last one. We will crown a new champion. It'll be the first champion of the year so far, I think.
The first champion of the year?
How many times have we done
it? We've done it a few times. I think you're up like 4-1.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I thought you were the last champ.
That's what I'm saying. The one victory this year was last fight.
Humble brag. He's a humble brag.
He's like, hold on, wait. I've been champ so long. I forgot.
I forgot how long we've been doing it. Yeah.
Okay, Jermaine.
Yeah, no joke, right? But no, yeah, it's like 4-1 right now. So I've got some catching up to do, guys. Statistically, probably not going to be the undisputed champ of 2023, but it is.
Not with that thought process.
That is true. Here's my parlay. I've been thinking about it a whole 5 seconds, so here it goes. I'm going to go Albazi, Caceres, Miller, Victor, Karine, 5-fight parlay. Putting my nuts on the table there.
Damn.
I'm going to go all in on this. So whatever I have left. So that is roughly about 500 or 600 coin, roughly. I'll do the math here in a minute.
All right. Absolutely fantastic card. Guys, we will not be live next weekend.
No, we will not.
No,
And
we're not
we
gonna be live.
probably
No.
won't want to
No.
even be live for UFC
We'll-
289. but
We'll
we
be.
will
You letting- all right.
We'll be here for that. I'm just joking.
Guys, we will be here on Sunday next week, breaking down the fights and doing a preview for the 289 afterwards. So stay tuned for next week, guys. If you have not already liked the video, make sure you do that down below and comment once this live stream ends. A hashtag for the algorithm, guys. Every comment, every like helps push us up. We'll get new viewers, new subscribers. So if you have not already subscribed, make sure you do that as well. Also share this live stream and also our audio only platforms on your social media accounts, guys. It really does help. Mason,
Yes, sir.
what is up for Big Screen Boys this weekend?
Not a damn thing this week.
You're not doing anything?
No, I don't think so.
Have you seen The Machine yet?
No, I haven't. I really want to go see it, but I have not seen it.
Dude, I gotta, since these last 2 weeks, I need to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Kelsey wants to
you
see The Little
gotta
Mermaid.
see that. You got to see that.
I gotta see that, The Little Mermaid,
Hurts.
fucking The Machine, and we haven't done Fast X. Did you guys do that yet?
No, we have
Dude,
not.
let's do the fight companion thing for the
I
Fast
know.
X.
I know. We got to schedule that out somehow. We do. Well, once summer comes around, I'm gonna have a lot more time. We'll talk about it off air. But
Okay.
This
Yeah.
summer, I'll have a lot more time. So we will get a lot of shit done this summer, which will be fun.
Absolutely fantastic.
We'll be at Saberforge.
Yeah, we'll be at Saberforge every
Yeah,
week.
that's what you're getting done. Just
Yeah.
buying lightsabers.
No, I'm not doing that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to be spending any money for a while.
I don't think any of us will be. Story will tell on the Patreon. No, I'm just joking.
No, I'll tell it. Guys, if you want to go hear what's going on in our lives, go to our Patreon, guys. Tremendous digital network on
Yeah,
Patreon.
we'll
Tabor
open-
owes a lot of money to Loan Sharks.
So we'll actually do a Patreon after this. We'll probably take if you guys can.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay. So so we'll do a Patreon, guys. We'll talk about kind of what's been going on in our lives the last couple of weeks. It's been crazy for everyone. I say Tabor takes a cake. He's the undisputed boy, oh boy.
Okay, we're just comparing pity parties.
But, yeah,
All right.
we are. So that's what's on the agenda for our Patreon. So go check it out.
Yeah,
We'll title it Pity
We'll get
Party.
into it.
I just got to piss before we do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for showing up on this one. I already said it. Make sure you like the video, guys. Make sure you share all of our content on your own social media pages. It really does help if you guys can do that. Also, go check out, we're going to do a Patreon exclusive right after this. It will be live on Patreon. So go subscribe over there, guys. Tremendous digital network on Patreon. Check that out. All right.
All right, everyone. Yep. Thanks for joining the show. This is the Pound for Pound MMA podcast. My name is Mason Nye. That is Tabor Craig and Devin Davis on the ones and twos. And until next time.
Peace.